You want to be a baller? I can make you a baller. Welcome to Path to the Pitch, where ball is life. So, I want to give you guys more value for content. So, I have now decided that we're going to do interviews on the channel. So, with these interviews, we have a lot of different players that I personally know that are playing in different countries that I want to share with you guys because there are things that they know that could ultimately make you a better player. So, that being said, today we have a special player who is currently playing in the German 7th division. He has played at the Valencia Academy in Spain. He has also played in England and in Costa Rica with me. So I definitely value his input and what he has to say because at the mere age of 23, playing in 4 different countries, I think that's a pretty big accomplishment by itself. So, without further ado, let's get straight into the video.
It's your dream. Nobody's going to feel it like you feel it. It's your dream. Nobody's going to be as dedicated to it as you are. It's your dream, and they don't have to understand, and they don't have to like it, and they don't have to do it. It doesn't make a difference. It's your dream.
Yeah, I get my inspiration from my own potential. Fuck your taste, I know it's hot. I got my own credentials. I'm going crescendo off my own instrumental. So I don't want your beats. I'm in the game, you're in the stands. I don't want your seats. I'm heating up, peep my numbers. Discovered around the world like Columbus. I'm the one that's been determined by my confidence. Always down to politic, like show me what the offer is. But starting to build like who brought Russ into the offices. Accomplishments been stacking kinda nicely as of late.
Por el sector derecho con Santa, ahí viene Santa, va a encarar Santa, sigue Santa, ven el centro de Santa, qué golazo, gol, y va a salir jugando Shaq nuevamente, Shaq con un trazo largo, fuerte sobre el sector izquierdo, mira qué bonita la jugada, ahí viene la filtra, el hat-trick,
Okay, cool. What's up, guys? So today I am with another special guest and of the ongoing series that I'm trying to have where I interview players that I personally know that play at high levels overseas and that can just give you guys an insight of what football is in a different country. So that being said, today on the show, I have Brian Lopez, played from Costa Rica, and he plays in Germany's 7th division for Vitna. So he's the number 2 for them. He just disclosed some information. But before we get into that information, I want him to talk about who he is. And so you guys can get more of an understanding based off of the videos that I showed you before you guys saw him and now speaking to him so you can understand the type of player he is. So, Brian, say hello and give us your story.
Yeah, guys. Hey, so as my friend Tony said, my name is Brian Lopez. I'm based in New York. Started football pretty old, like 14, 15. But I always, played other sports when I was younger. But, football, when I first touched it, I was like, wow, this is a sport I want to play for the rest of my days. And so, yeah, this is my story, and I hope you get to learn from it.
So Brian, tell us a bit about, like, did you go play in college or what was that like? Because, how old are you?
Yeah, so I'm 23 right now. Did 3 years in college.
Do you feel like, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I did like 3 years there. I played 2 years actually. I just figured that I played D3, so it was like it was a decent level, but nothing crazy. It was an all right experience for me personally, though I felt like okay, like I want to go and explore outside options for what I wanted to do.
Have you always lived in the States, like, or have you always like been in America? So did you feel like you kind of just didn't really enjoy the experience of playing in America, or are you from a different country? Like when
Yeah,
you grow up?
so my whole life was here in New York. But I guess the first experience of what football was actually like was playing in the Valencia Academy for a little bit. That was at the age of 16. And yeah, just the culture, the way they move the ball, the just the intensity they had is completely different from what
Yeah,
I
you
had in.
can't recreate it. I was thinking about it the other day, actually. So let me ask you a question, right? That being said, so you started at 14. You went to the Valencia Academy at 16. So when you went to the Valencia Academy, obviously you had prior experience playing. And so do you feel like how you thought and the hunger you had for the game changed drastically going there and then coming back into the same pond you were part of before? Do you
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah.
that played a big role? Because you
Mhm.
saw what football really was, and then you came here and you're like, nobody cares.
Yeah. So that's a great
It gives
point.
you a different
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I mean, like we spoke previously, like what really got me into the game was because of that intensity in
Mm,
Valencia, because of
yeah.
why they play football. Um, yeah, even like just the small pickup games at the park, it was just different. Like just the
Everyone's going
intensity.
100%. Everyone's going 100%. Like it's like they want to be there.
Yep.
Like they enjoy
Yep.
it. They wouldn't spend their time doing anything else but being there.
Exactly.
And I understand what you feel like because when I came back from Thailand, 20, I want to say 20, maybe it was 2022. I think that's when I came back. I was like, yo, like I don't like playing here. It's just nobody's in it because they
Yeah.
want to be here. They just are
Yeah.
like, I'm just here.
Yeah. They have what I saw actually yesterday. I was watching a UPSL game. Um, Talented people, talented players, except like you said, no one wanted to be there. They had like three, four other things in their minds, but their bodies on the field, but their mind and soul is in the part of the game. So I was like, wow, this like there's no there really is no passion in this sport right now. So
Yeah, not at all. That's why when I came back, I was just like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to play. I just didn't enjoy. I couldn't understand why I couldn't enjoy it. And it
yeah,
messes with the player you are too, because if the player that you are, to be the successful player you are, you have to have people that want to play.
for sure.
Because then they don't mind sharing the ball. And if they don't mind sharing the ball, they want, especially when you understand your jobs, defenders want to see their attackers go at goal and score. So they want to give them the ball.
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
want that. They don't want to attack. They'd rather just sit back and like be more of an assistance to goal.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy. It's so interesting. Now that that was a great point, actually. I was like, wow. Okay, so after that, we're gonna move on. So as an adult, after you finished college, what did you decide to do?
Yeah. So I mean, COVID struck. Everyone was home. I couldn't really do much, so I started, going on social media, figuring out what to do next, what I wanted to do. Um, Obviously, I finished college. I was good with that, but I felt like, all right, well, I don't think I really truly explored my options in football. And so after they let up the restrictions of COVID, I was able to play in the UPSL for a little bit. Um, that was good experience. I was able to get some footage, and then yeah, so Soccer Visa came. I saw it on their page on Instagram, and I was like, you know what, like, oh, sorry, before that, I went to England. England was where it all started. England was a trial, and I was like, you know what? Let me try it. If I could do it, I continue. If not, it's fine. At least I tried it. But I went out and I just played. I went in that trial. I played. I assisted. I played my heart out. I scored goals. Now, did I get signed or anything? No. But just to have the idea of like, oh wow, I could play at another country. I could do
Yeah.
this. You
That
know,
is like, wow, like why am I not doing it then?
Yeah, exactly. So that was like, all right, like that gave me more confidence and more belief. I'm like, all right, like now I just gotta keep going, and then that's where
Yeah,
I met
yeah.
Soccer Visa. So
So wait, before we get into that,
yeah,
so when you were in England, right? So you said you played well. The thing is, because I witnessed something like that when I was playing in Thailand. Like
yeah,
if I played well at a trial, like there was one specific I can think of in my mind. I went there, I was the fittest player there. I would like people were like, "How did you not get called up? Like called back for another trial?"
Yeah.
And the coach looked at me, and I'm pretty sure you understood this in England. And he was just like, "You're a very good player, but you're not what we're looking for. You're not
Mm-hmm.
the tall player that we're looking for."
Mm-hmm.
Because I was playing as a striker, and for like, unless you have two, one of them is usually gonna be the really quick one that goes directly and attacks. The other one's gonna be a hold off player and takes
Yeah.
away from long range. And I guess they were looking for a true number 9, like tall, just can hold off players. But you
Yeah.
probably dealt with that in England because you know certain coaches want certain players in certain positions. They just
Yeah,
feel like
for
they're
sure.
just gifted that for that.
Yeah, I mean, there was players that I was like technically the same as them or even better, except like just the coaches were looking for a certain type of midfielder, a certain type of stature onto the midfield. And
And
I
it
think
has
it
to
was
do
a
with
big
how
thing
they
of
play
presence.
too.
That, and I think also just your presence. You could play
Yeah.
well, but are you showing, like, it's an emotional thing that fans, coaches, and other players will feel. If you have that presence, it's like you just get their attention. You could play like a 5 out of 10 game, but that presence is still there.
How do you feel like you make your presence known?
Yeah. So Germany was definitely where that happened. That like awareness of my presence, because I didn't know the language that well. Everyone was like 6 foot taller. I'm 5'8", so it's definitely you know. So it's like you're looking around like you're like, wow, this is okay. So you gotta learn the language. You gotta speak with authority, not just speak, but you gotta speak with like a tone, and like people can hear you. Doesn't matter the language. It's like people can understand what you're trying to put on.
It's
Uh,
based off of it's not even it's the tone in which you say it.
yep,
Like ball to ball.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because
But
if you're like, oh, ball, yeah, no one's playing you that ball. When you're like, yeah, 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 play me, you're like, oh, okay, he wants it,
yeah,
you
he
know?
has an idea. He has an idea. What's his idea? Let's see what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
just started realizing it because the thing is now when I play, because I realize I'm marked with 2 and 3 players, I don't even say anything. I don't want
mhm,
nobody to know where I am because if the second I say something, people are already looking at
exactly.
me. So
Yeah,
personally, because I'm so skilled, it makes it harder. Like more skilled players, people play like really differently to them. Like they have to be crafty in how they defend them.
hmm yeah.
Crazy.
Even with presence, it's like, so like going away from like verbal cues. It's like, how are you standing? How's your body? Like, how's your body posture? Like, then like people are looking like, oh, okay, this guy, how are you like dressed as a player?
Mm.
It's You gotta dress like one too. Like you gotta look sharp. It's like those small mental cues for people.
Like yeah, I dress like I'm relaxed all the time.
Yeah.
I am. And like, but some players are just like sharp and ready. Like I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and that's why I started understanding football, especially when you play outside the country. It opens your mind. Football, they say football is life because of there's parts of you that you would never think would be in a game, like how you are, like without playing football. Like it'll show when you're playing football. So if you're a
Yeah.
selfish player, it'll show. If you're
Yep.
a selfish person outside the pitch, you're a selfish person on the pitch. If you're a person that wants to defend people, wants to be there for their teammates, you'll be there regardless.
Yep.
You're somebody that
Yeah.
wants to be crafty. You think of new ways to do new things. You're gonna find ways to find different players.
Exactly.
Just it, all attributes that you have will be translated into the game, and that's why I realized I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's
Yeah, bro.
crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So soccer visa. All right,
Mm.
let's think.
Yeah.
What was the
So
timeline for you? Because we were both there together. So
yeah. So I mean, how long you stayed there? 3, 4 months?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was supposed to be there for 6, but
Oh
I think
wow.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just
It was a journey, bro. It's crazy. So
I didn't
yeah.
have enough money for the trip. I'm sorry.
No, no. Listen, it's like you said. Is no one said it's gonna be not expensive.
Yeah,
So,
nah, not at all.
uh,
For those who are
Coach.
wondering, Costa Rica is not as cheap as you think,
Mm,
especially Cahuita and Puerto Viejo. Those places are expensive. It's almost like living in the States, what you're
yeah.
paying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
But
what did I do? 2 months there.
yeah.
Yeah. So I did
What was your
2 months.
time like?
Oh man, it happened so fast, but I learned so much. I think 2 months there surpasses like 6 months back in the States.
Why? What about it? What about that experience really like was different from the rest?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just the one aspect is like com like being comfortable. And I think Coach Joe back in Soccer Visa, he definitely said like if you're comfortable, you're losing out on a lot of things. And so Costa Rica was definitely a big test of like getting out of my comfort zone, even on the pitch and outside the pitch. So that just helped me just mature as a player and as a person. Um, the things we learned there was just it was so simple yet like they never teach you that in the States. Simple things of like how firm you got to hit that ball, or like when are you moving, and how you even like we were saying before, how you speak to your teammates, how that changes the game. So, and that was
Yeah,
just like the first
definitely.
2 weeks. So,
Yeah, because it's not our job to get on our players. Like unless I'm the captain, I shouldn't be saying anything negative to you. Even
yeah,
if you do mess up. Why? Because that's not my job.
yeah,
Right? That's the captain's job to get on anybody who's doing an inefficient job of their job. And it's the manager, the gaffer, the coach. That's the
yeah,
person who's the real shot caller. And so whatever he says goes. Now,
yeah,
some players, because of their amazing abilities, he gives leniency to. But that's something you have to earn. It's not just
yeah,
given to you. And so that's what is really important. That's why playing for the correct team, playing with the coach who has your best interest is one of the most important things because they're going to make sure that like I have a coach that I play for currently, Victoria FC, and he allows me to have freedom. At first, it was kind of hard, but he doesn't tell me how to play. He may give me ideas or open my eyes by saying certain things, but he knows I know how to play.
for
So,
sure.
because he's played professional in Australia,
Yeah,
so I could see it because when he speaks to me and what he says, I just listen because I know it's right. I know
yeah,
it's the correct way of thinking, and I know what he's saying. If I do it, it'll work. And
hmm,
so that's when it's it's not me that's the problem. It's the players I'm playing around. So sometimes we all have different ideas because our IQs are different. Along with we have been playing with so many different people. You haven't seen like if you're not used to a certain play style, or you have someone that plays completely like brand new to you, it's just like a question mark when you play them. You don't know
for
what
sure.
they're gonna do.
Yeah, 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 bro. And even going back to that is like I saw yesterday the game, UPSL game, and I personally know the coach of one of the teams. Brilliant man, smart man, and he's very direct. And they have it's a very young team, 17, 18, going to college. And I just see them talking back to him in the middle of the game. Like,
That's crazy.
it's like, how do you even have the time to talk back to him? Why are you even doing it? Just if you don't think it's correct, fine, but don't react. Just play
Just
on.
listen, just
Yeah,
play. Yeah, because the second you lose focus, like then you have to mentally lock back in and get back in the flow state.
yeah.
You can just hear it. It's like cool. I already know. Cool is what you want me to do. I can say something, but not look at them. Don't break my concentration.
Yeah. It's nothing. It's a big thing. Is like I think we spoke about it previously. Is like remove yourself, like get out of yourself. It's not all about you. Like this game is football is never really about you.
You have
It's like
moments, but the game isn't about you.
exactly. And so like don't take things so personal. And that was a big thing for me, especially in Germany. Like they had to sit me down like one or two times. Like it's nothing personal. Not because like I reacted bad, but just because I felt like it hit me too hard. But they said it's nothing personal. It's about the game. You know, it's their
Yeah, we're
standard.
and it's just it's not that you're not a good player, but in the game, certain things just aren't working. So we gotta
Yeah,
try something new.
for sure, for sure.
And it's like, especially if they make it difficult, like I'm direct as a winger. I like to go at my player, but if they start putting two and three players on me, then maybe I have to change my style. Or a coach puts in a player, I get moved to a different position or to get taken out. But somebody else comes in and plays like a way that is like, let's say I'm getting marked heavily. They just get a player that just sits and crosses
Yeah,
or sits up
just
high.
to win. Yeah,
Because it's just like what the game calls for. What the game calls for. We're not going to be that player that it needs almost like not every time. Most of the time, we probably will be, depending on how your play style and your IQ level is.
yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I know how that feels though. Riding the bench, oh, man, because I started at 19. Man, it was just like I came into high school varsity first year ever playing, just getting benched. Yeah,
Yeah, bro.
yo, my team, yo, we had a guys that played like on like the top club teams around. They like parents and family was ex professionals or professionals currently playing. It was just like, man, try not to go back to those days sitting on the bench. Those were never fun.
But you know, it's like if you're sitting on the bench and you know like these players around you are not that great, you
Yeah,
gotta
it
like
gives you a totally
you
different.
but if you're on the bench and these players who are on the starting 11 are, you know, if you're really honest, like their class, they're way better than you, then
You
you
can't
know, you
complain. You just
can't
sit there and
complain.
just
Gotta get to work, you know, learn from them, you know.
yeah, and
So
that's what happened, bro. I never would get. I'd never say anything because I knew like I'd sit there and I'd watch them play. Like there would be games I go home just like crying because it was just like, bro, all I
yeah,
want to do is play, but I
for sure.
can't because I'm not good enough. And like I can't sit there and take them out because like I can't effectively do what they're doing because I can't
And that's
play.
the
I
honest.
just started.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that really beat. And then when I went and played in Thailand and Spain, it just kept on racking. But then eventually you reach a certain point and then you start getting the dips. Then you're getting the dips where you're going up and down.
Yep, yep,
Now
yep,
I
yep.
think that's where I am. I'm just trying to be consistent because I know the next part of my journey is gonna be like I was just thinking about it. I was like, it's about to be the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life. Bro, you don't even know. I know how bad it is, and so do you. But it's even worse when you go to a country that's like I'm planning on going. I can't give out disclose any places, but I'm pretty sure I talked to you about it. Did I not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I assume, to be honest, they're gonna be so technically gifted, like I'm gonna be dying. I'm not gonna lie, sprinting everything. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah. But those are the places
ah,
those are the
huh?
places you like
Yeah. So I was like, I
Germany.
either make it, and if I don't make it, that's cool. But guess what that did? It exponentially raised me
Yeah, you
to
come
the
back here,
next place.
different. Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I went to Germany it was basically yeah, first 2 months the level I was horrendous. Not even close. I went to go play pickup games and for the first month I was like the keeper for five aside. And like you
Oh
have
yeah.
you have these kids 11, 12 are cooking and I'm like, dang, like I got some work to do. You know,
So
by
what did you do to counter that?
mm,
Like, what did you do to solve the problem?
good. Yeah, so you know, when you gotta go play pickups. Like and there's like this thing of people saying don't go play pickups and to like more one-on-one trainings. But for me, like you want to learn the game, go play on the streets. Go
Yeah.
play with, you know, older players, younger players. Like let go of your ego and learn. That's because these players in Germany or in France, they are just playing a game way different than you. They're touching the ball completely different than you. They're not even thinking, they're just playing. And so, yeah, I'm 20, I was 23, or I am 23. And I just went to Germany. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pretend like I never played football. I'm a clean slate. Show me everything. And it came back 5 months later. I'm a completely different player.
Makes you think so much into the game. Like what, why, like as soon as you see something, you have to have a new idea. As soon as something happens, but see the problem what people don't understand is what makes it very hard for players to play is as soon as you look up, make a decision. If you're gonna pass, play the pass as soon as you can. The
Yeah,
more
yeah,
time that player has for his idea, the easier it is for him to execute his idea. But if
for
you
sure.
hold on to the ball and you're like trying to figure out what to do, then you play it. The player has already been marked, and now the mark is moving to the player. So now he has to last minute do something to lose the ball
Yeah, yeah.
because they use him as a ditch option, which is ridiculous to me.
Yeah, a big thing over there was because of my decision making, I put my teammates in a poor position because
Mm.
I thought long or like
You didn't
touches
play
back,
quick enough.
didn't play quick enough. And so I'm like, that got to me. I'm like, damn, I'm really putting my teammates in a poor position every time. And so, yeah, I mean, definitely five aside over there. It was
And then you
different
gotta
thing.
trust. Trust is important because that's what gets you to that where you just play. You don't think,
Yeah,
you just play. You gotta
yeah,
automatically just let people just trust people. Like I'm gonna give you the ball. I know you gotta do a good job. If you lose it, that's okay. We recover as a team. It doesn't matter
exactly.
if you lose ball, it's part of the game.
That's a big thing. Yeah, so even just a part of transitions here in the States, it's like transition for them is a chore. Like they just don't want to transition, like from playing defense to attacking or attacking the defense. They think it's like the worst thing. Here in Europe, South America, anywhere else, a transition is just part of the game. So they just know, all right, lost it, win it back. Got it back,
That's it.
just go forward. Or, whatever the thing needs for the game. They don't think too much of like what happened. They just gotta go.
Yeah, no, for sure. Man, so many great things. That's 100%, yo. This is all, and that I think it's nice to articulate this stuff for people to hear because like people just don't have any clue.
Yeah.
Like when I was playing in Thailand, like I was like, bro, I thought I was gonna go over there and walk. Like just, oh, bro, that was so hard. I got signed, and then next thing you know, I went and played on the team. I got off the flight. As soon as I got off the flight, I had practice from a like almost a 24-hour flight. It was like 21 hours. I got
Yeah.
off a couple hours later, had to go to practice in like 80 to 5 degree weather, dry heat. Next thing you know, after that, the next day, I have a game for a league game. I was so tired, bro. So tired. But the expectation is, he's like, I expect you to perform. I don't care. I do not care. You are to perform. You
Yep.
want to be, you must perform, regardless of the conditions. Regardless, like people could argue, it's like almost a form of like something crazy. I don't want to say slavery, but if you were like, if you're getting paid, it's almost you get equivalent to like poor working conditions, like, but you chose to do it. So like at the end of the
Yeah.
day, no problem.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you do something like that or go somewhere that's just cr absolutely like left or right of your old habits. When you come back here, you just get humbled. You're calmer. And when people throw fits or are angry because coach didn't play me, it's like you have no idea.
Right? You
You have
have no
no idea.
clue. You don't understand any part of it. You have
Yeah,
zero clue. Like, and I
yeah.
think to emotionally go through that as a person, like the
Hmm.
type of like when they're just like you have it, but you're just not good enough. Like, and you're like, oh, but I'm playing with professionals. Like what's wrong? But then you go back to the drawing board and rebuild. And you like,
Yeah.
hold on, let me make sure we have enough time. We're good.
Okay.
You just start rebuilding. You just start rebuilding your whole idea. It's just like
Exactly.
this is what football is. And that's when I
Yeah.
was like, bro, this is so like ball is life, bro. Ball is life.
Yeah.
So we went over soccer visa. Anything else you want to touch on with that?
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Coach Joe and Soccer Visa for me. It was 2 months, but it was definitely needed in my career just to jumpstart it.
Just
Obviously, I'm still under the radar, but it's a big shout out for them.
yeah, for sure. Like giving me the ideas and the things now I can execute and just I'm just more dangerous as a player now. Like at first I was like, no, I did nothing, nothing. Came back and I was just like scoring, constantly
Mm.
scoring, constantly scoring. But like when I play small sided, people are just like, thinking I should just be scoring left to right. I mean, cool. If I can score, that's cool. I was just thinking about it yesterday. Like if I can't score on a small, tiny goal that's like the size of my like shoulders, why am I tripping? That's not even the size I normally play on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm not even. That's cool. Like even futsal, we play on like the goals that you play on normally are like decent sized.
yeah,
So why would I get upset that I'm missing like Sometimes I'm like excited, like wow, I can't believe I missed this whole big build up to scoring the goal. All right, so we got 10 minutes. Just FYI now.
yeah,
So um, it's just beautiful. Personally, it's just jeez, it's just beautiful. But I really do appreciate like that whole experience though, like you said. I definitely do.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
it works.
Holds you, it builds you.
Definitely
It,
molded. If you're
yeah, no,
especially if you allow it to, then you
yeah,
mold even better. You put your ideals on top of your new stuff that you've learned to then come out with a more defined and polished finish for yourself.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Big thing I want to say is like for players who want to do this, their first steps is like, and they don't know what to do. Well, honestly, like just put your foot in, start making things happen. Create a highlight video to find teams. It's just put your foot in, and something's got to give. Just keep going. Um, I used to like just keep mentally blocking myself of like just taking my first step as you, but like you don't know it. This is something unknown. You don't know what's gonna happen. So sometimes you just gotta like take a leap of faith and just go in. Germany was exactly like that. When I went into Germany, I didn't have a team ready. Uh,
But you didn't
I
need
didn't
to.
really, yeah,
Didn't need to.
but I didn't have a really a solid place to stay. Um, and it was, Germany in the winter is not fun at all. So it's like you got to deal with the weather. But when you put your head down and just start working and you know what you're doing, things give. Thankfully, I found that team. Thankfully, that worked. So,
That's crazy.
mhm.
Like it reminds me of what I did when I went to Thailand. I just went there.
Yeah,
Just went there. The guy was just like, "Yo, just go there." And so I just went there. I just went there, and then all these opportunities and all these different things happened, and even you experienced it for yourself. Then
yeah,
next time you go back, you're more focused. You understand more and more and more. You're never an expert. You just have ideas what to expect. What to expect. All right, I've been here. I've been in this situation. It's okay. I've gone through this. This is nothing. I remember
yeah,
I had a training when I was in, and this really taught me a lot. I had an African coach when I was in Thailand. Every single day, 5 days a week, I would go to him from like 7:30 to like 9 or something like that. And we did sand training. The most brutal training I've ever had in my life is from him. We did straight sand training,
yeah,
sprinting in the sand for 20 minutes, different like movements in the sand, passing the ball and moving. Like he taught me so much. I didn't even think about it. Then just pass and move, find somewhere else to go. another angle, another angle, move. But it's like doing that for an hour and 30 minutes, along with like suicides in the sand for months. Oh man, I gotta do it. This I have a friend, he's from Namibia. His name is Hanson. He was there with
Yeah,
me, yo. Yeah, it was a stressful time.
yeah, bro. It was
Ooh, yeah.
those moments of just like training. It's yeah,
I'd never forget that. I will never. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I had me thinking while I was going through it. I was like, why am I? Do I really want to play this? Do I actually want to play this sport? Because if it takes this to get there, like I'm like I'm already doing it. Like I'm gonna do
yeah,
it. But I can understand why someone would give up. That's like some harsh. You're not thinking it is, but if you got someone there, like yeah, you gotta get this hour and 30 minutes of just straight sprinting in sand every day.
yeah, bro.
Woo,
It's different.
it is different.
Yeah. Like
I
there's
cannot.
my friends, we found in Germany, we just like hiked the mountains. We ran the mountains, and then we would have like our team training in the afternoons. And so like just doing something like that, like something intense, and then you come back home and you're kind of just sitting there,
Decompress.
like it kills you. It's like I gotta do something, you know?
Makes you want to be
But
productive, but you're like,
yeah,
I'm tired.
but you know, it's if you know how to rest properly, that rest will just bring you to another level. So
Definitely will.
definitely recommend the rest properly, not like staying up till 2 or drinking or anything like that. Like literally going for a walk every day is crucial.
Okay, so really quick, we're gonna finish off with something that since we're on this topic, we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about that question, that thing that you wanted to talk about, the sphere of influence. So give us a little bit about what you mean by, something that you felt like it was important for people, the viewers, to know is the sphere of influence. So just talk about what you feel like that is to you.
Yeah, so your sphere of influence literally will make you or break you. Um, so what I mean by that is like who are you surrounding? Like what are your surroundings? Who are you with? What are you listening to every single day? Your habits, are they positive? Are they bringing you up or are they tearing you down, like subconsciously? Um, for example, like what you're listening to, how's your music? Like music, like in the Bible says there's power in the tongue, speak life or death. And a lot of this music now, it's speaking a lot of death. And so if you have that constantly in your mind and you're trying to live positive, like a positive life throughout, it just doesn't work. You're serving two masters and one's got to go.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I realized. Like, if you're so focused on like trying to go out, have fun, and then you're like, yeah, but I really want to be a footballer. Like, unless you put in the work over time and then you're just like, I'm gonna take a little break, that's the only way it ever works out. But if you just constantly like doing one more than the other, or even just I still go out and party every weekend, how are you gonna ever take that extra time to develop into who you want to be?
exactly. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just it's crazy.
Yeah, so
But
just keep kind of your habits and stuff.
yeah,
That's
nah, definitely is. It's super important. So that being said, is there anything else you want the viewers to know at all? Because we only got 2 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, if any players want to need a jump start in their career or need help, they could just just shoot me a text or follow me on Instagram. I'd be happy to help. You know,
Yeah, what's your Instagram for the people, and then I'll put in the link
yes,
below.
on Instagram it's J. Brian Lopez. Yeah, you can find me, follow me, follow back. If you need help, shoot, just give me a text. No worries.
We got mentors that want to see people grow. That's what this is all about. Football is a community sport where we're growing as teams and individuals. And I'm so happy that I can try to connect people with players that are actually in the game. And it makes me happy because, I just wish I had this opportunity when I was young and playing. With
No,
that
for
being
sure.
said, yeah, I know, right? That being said, thank you guys so much for joining us on the stream or, for the video. We really appreciate it.